The Chicago Cubs are going to the NLDS. I hope you had your Tums. That was one of the most stressful games I can remember. But they got it done, and we're going to talk all about it right now. Go Cubs.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the FanDuel app today. Cubs defeated the Padres 3-1 on Thursday to win the wild card series. Clutch performance by the Cubs in all phases as we celebrate this big win, review key moments and more. And then later, we preview Cubs Brewers in the NLDS, which begins on Saturday. Sam, first Cubs playoff series win since 2017. Just a great day on the north side.
Where do you want to start? I mean, I got to start with this. You'll look at the box score and see that Tyone went 4. He gave up 2 hits, no runs. If you didn't watch the game, you'll say to yourself, hey, Tyone stepped up. No, he did more than that. He was pitch perfect tonight. In the biggest game that he has pitched as a Chicago Cub, he was at his very, very best. I've watched probably every single Jameson Tyone start, and he was as sharp and as locked in as I've ever seen him in a big moment. And I'm serious, and it's going to be a dramatic episode for me. You know me, Matt. I'm trying to calm down here. Got the antacids. I will never forget that outing. I will never forget that effort from him.
Game of his life.
And if this was 10 years ago, he might have gone 7-8, and I'm not sure he would have given up a run. Okay. Then you go to the bullpen. Pretty good job, Thielbar, Palencia, give a lot of credit. The bullpen was more of a grind, but they got the job done. I thought Pomerantz did a great job. Keller's 8th inning was good. We'll have to discuss. You'll have to try and explain to me why he went a 9th inning instead of Kittredge.
Sure.
Because there's nobody that trusts Andrew Kittredge in a big spot late more than me. Nobody. Sure. Okay?
And Boyd was up.
Offense we'll talk about in a second, Matt, but I want to start with this.
Yeah.
I thought the game was won because of the middle infield defense by the Chicago Cubs, particularly Nico Horner and Dansby Swanson. And forgive me for getting a little emotional on air.
No, talk about it.
But you know who would have really been proud of that effort today? Ryne Sandberg. The Cubs wrongly lost to the Padres in 1984, the year Sandberg won MVP. The Cubs should have had home field. They did it in a weird way with the lights, and that was revenge for him. And sorry for bringing that up, but I think it's necessary.
That's cool.
And I thought Dansby Swanson was the MVP of this series.
It's not even close.
I don't think it was particularly close. Most of it was defensively, but he had an RBI walk today and a couple of hits. I felt really good. I felt really good about him and Pete going into the series. It took Pete 2 games to get it going. But, if you want to do that whole Cubs pinstripe thing, Dansby Swanson became a Chicago Cub pinstripe guy today. What a series from him.
If they didn't score off Yu Darvish, I thought the season was over. I thought the bottom of the second, being able to rally like that, not come out of the game after 21 pitches, ended up being so pivotal. The inning ended with a little bit of a thud, but they did what they had to do, and 2 runs ended up winning the game. PCA got off the schneid with an RBI single. Swanson walked with the bases loaded. Tucker and Seiya with big hits to lead off the inning to set up second and third. No outs, and Michael Busch connects for a solo homer in the 7th. He went 4 for 10 in the series, Sam.
Yeah.
As he continues to be
he's number 2.
Red hot. But after that, the amount of strategy this series, really by both teams, but especially the Cubs side, at times it's captivating. But Tyone was a pleasure to watch. He had it from the first batter, no walks and 2 hits, 43 strikes and 60 pitches. Your goal is usually 62, 65% strikes. He got 73%. And he only faced 14 guys, and he made it worth it. This is a big deal. Later in this show, we're going to preview the next series, and we're going to be excited to do that because it's been a journey to get here. It's been 8 years since the Cubs advanced in the playoffs. That's a long time. 8 years is a long time. Of course, big picture, this needs to be the goal. There's no excuse why you don't make the wild card every year. You're the Cubs. They should be in this series at least every year now. They have to use this as momentum, and I think they will. But really enjoyed that one. I actually appreciated the pace this week more than I thought. I mean, Tuesday was quick, but Wednesday and Thursday, we kind of reverted old school a little bit just in terms of length of game because of all the changes. But just an incredible job by them, and just soaking it in right now.
I think Pete deserves a shout out. I think he had a really rough couple games. These 3-game series are so tough, right? I mean, you could be Aaron Judge and go over. It's 3 games. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Especially against this pitching staff. I'm not quite sure I've seen a staff like this. And they were missing Jason Adam. I mean, every time you look, here comes Morahone for the 3rd straight day, 100 miles an hour. Estrada, phenomenal. Suarez, Mason Miller.
And Miller didn't even pitch today.
Michael King looked terrific.
Why did he only pitch 1 inning?
Yeah, they were really tough to hit. Now, I do think the Cubs gotta figure out a way going forward here on this run and maybe even in the future to put bat on ball more, 11 more strikeouts. But again, how much is that the Cubs and how much is this 104 mile an hour guys coming in?
Right.
Every time. But I just thought Pete made a real adjustment today. I mean, you could tell he was grinding. Those 3 hits, full counts, took some pitches. First of all, he stole that base, by the way. That's not the spirit of the rule and replay. They need to get rid of that.
That better not happen in the World Series.
Yeah. It's enough already with that. It's enough. I don't like that stuff. It's not the spirit of the rule at all. But I thought he was good. I'm glad. There's so many reasons I'm glad they won. I'm going to give you my 2 biggest ones, and we can go to break. But my number 1 is that I still have a sour taste in my mouth losing back-to-back winner-go-home games in 2018, right? I still have a sour taste in my mouth losing back-to-back home games in 2020 to the Marlins. I really didn't want to lose back-to-back home games again to go home. I think it was really important for the credibility of this organization to find a way to beat a really, really good Padre team at home, especially after they got game 1. That's number 1. And number 2 is this. Few more days, few more games at least, to see if Kyle Tucker can get red hot again. There are some signs. Still a little bit of rollover there to the right side, especially when Happ got that sack bunt over to Nico to third. That was a bad at bat, but there's some signs. And now you're just buying him time to see if he can get hot and carry you against your division rivals. But Matt, this is amazing. I mean, we just won a playoff series, and you know what? It feels like we were a part of it with just the coverage and every single thing, and not a part of it in terms of the result, but just watching it and locking in. I'm really excited, and I think this fan base deserves it. And I'm really excited to see what's next.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Key moments from this win. More on Swanson, who was easily wild card MVP. Is there a wild card MVP?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Bullpen strategy, because I think we learned this week really what the strategy up until the end of the month could be. And then we preview Cubs Brewers, and we do all that right after this. Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. With football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes, all in less than 60 seconds. When you play Prize Picks, it's going to be such a fun way to stay locked in for this football season. It's quick, easy. It's going to be your favorite way to follow along. And you could pick Josh Allen, more or less, passing yards. You could pick Saquon Barkley, more or less, rushing touchdowns, and a whole lot more. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Shout out to the everydayers, and you can become a Locked On Cubs everydayer by joining us for every episode throughout the week. We've been here since July 5th of 2022. If this is your first time, please stay with us all postseason long and beyond as well. We're here 5 days a week most of the year. All right, let's go pitching back to offense to NLDS, Sam.
Well, let me reverse that just for a second because it's on me. What a series for Seiya Suzuki too. If we're gonna do shout outs,
start offensively.
Yeah, let's start offensively because this is a guy. I could do in the offseason like 3 or 4 solo shows just on Seiya Suzuki. I mean, he is such a complex guy. He's so hard to figure out. But at the end of the day, his up and down nature, he was up at the right time. He was up at the right time. He delivered when it mattered. That home run that he hit, that home run that he hit, Matt, game 1 reminded me of, obviously not as significant at all, but it reminded me of that Bryant homer in game 5 against Cleveland when the Cubs were down, it was at Wrigley. They were down 1-0. They were down 3-1 in the series, and Smoltz literally said, like, they got to get something going soon here. That might be it. And boom, Bryant hit the homer, and it was almost just like a fan base exhale. That Seiya homer in the 5th, it was similar. And I actually think Bryant's was either in the 4th or the 5th. I don't remember. But that homer was really important. And he had a double today to get that second and third no out. I thought that was probably the most important hit of that inning. And I'll give him credit. I want to see this team, and we're about to go against a team that we'll talk about that's really good at this. I want to see this team offensively put bat on ball more in critical situations. I think that's the negativity I would have from today, but really happy for Seiya. Really am. He deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, I thought 5 of the 9 guys in the lineup, and maybe even 6 of 9 if you want to include Dansby. Obviously, he was excellent defensively all series, and he put the exclamation point for me was the double play to end the 6th. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was just he makes it look so easy out there, and then Horner follows it up with a Jordan jump-esque catch there.
Yeah, I don't know about that
as well. But Bush 4 for 10, Horner 4 for 11, Kelly 3 for 7, Seiya 3 for 11. And yeah, I think the signs from PCA and Tucker today are really important because these are players that could, on a dime, change the outlook of the postseason.
100%.
Because you're going to have to grind as a pitching staff. You're really, really getting creative here to the point where we saw Matthew Boyd warm up on Thursday night.
Man, I love that.
He's going to start Saturday, right?
My head's not there.
So we'll let's go over that later then. But
yeah, my head's.
I thought Colin Ray was going to start Saturday. I think it could be Boyd.
I don't know. I'm not there.
But to have Tucker square up a ball in the 1st on Wednesday, get a single in the 9th. 2 for 2 to start today. His last 2 at-bats, he didn't come through. And really the big one was in the 7th there, man on 3rd, 1 out. He hit a ground ball to 1st instead of at least a healthy fly. But that was really, really encouraging. And PCA had big moments against Milwaukee. So you dream about that.
Huge.
For starting this weekend. Craig Counsell's uses of pitchers this week.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't remember was this the Monday or Tuesday episode. 27 outs. You know, he gets mocked. He gets mocked for saying it, and he gets mocked for the outgetter phrasing. Yes, I'm not a fan of the opener. Yes, Shota should have walked Machado. But otherwise, what Craig Counsell did this week, it was captivating at times. And I think what we learned, Sam, is you have the 5 short relief dudes, Valencia, Thielbar, Pomerantz, Kittredge, and Keller.
Yes.
That could finish a game.
I don't even think we learned that. I think we knew that going in.
Yeah, but we never saw them in the 4th or 5th inning.
No, right. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But those are the guys. Those are the guys.
But they're only the short relief guys every game.
Yep.
But I didn't think they would shorten the game this much. Yeah. Right? Short relief, but really with short being the key word.
Yeah, I mean,
even Tyone only pitched 4 innings.
Yeah, as a fan of baseball, I'm not a huge fan of it in terms of a baseball side. It just seems like it's just a little overdone to me. I love when a starter's just going long and whatnot, but it worked. And it's a results-based business. It's a results-based series, and it worked. My only problem with Counsell, and we were talking about it before it happened, I just don't know. I thought that was Kittredge's inning. And the 9th. I thought it was going to be a clean inning for him. I don't know why Keller got forced there. But yeah, I mean,
or at least after the home run, you make a change.
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to Palencia because
was he the key guy today or this week?
I thought Pomerantz's inning was probably Pomerantz and Kittredge. I mean, those 2 innings were really dangerous. But I just thought, when you're talking about what we were looking for, I didn't expect if you were to tell me that Palencia was going to get like 11 outs in this series. I would have been really surprised. I mean, he was a guy that I wasn't fully trusting just because of how it ended, right? That whole Nationals thing, the injury, 1,400 people, by the way, joining us, hopefully 1,400 happy people. What a ball game. And I got to tell you, Matt, you've said this many times. I thought today they were going to have to get to 4, but 3, when they're playing at Wrigley Field and the wind is somewhat helpful, just get to 3 runs, man.
That's the number.
And that's why I think a lot of people get annoyed of me, for a lot of reasons, but a lot of people get annoyed during the regular season. The 15-1 wins are amazing. I mean, you have to get those. You have to have those to have a non-stress-free season. But the playoffs are about these type of games. The defense, the base running, that base should have been stolen. The little things, the contact. I mean, and then you get a guy like Bush to get into one at the right time, and that's the difference. It's as you would say, the margin for error is tiny. And I'm telling you, if the Padres,
it still is.
Of course it is. Look at who you're playing against.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to tell you, Tatis had a really bad baseball game on Thursday. If we're going to do Cub MVPs, he might be in the top 5.
Oh, wow.
But they're a really good baseball team. And they're really hard to beat. I still think that if it was there, we would have been in big trouble. And I thought Wrigley was sensational.
Yeah, how much of a difference do you think that made? Because
they would have lost the series if it wasn't at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, we were teasing that since the start of last week, so even as the regular season was still going on. But even being there on Wednesday and it being, unfortunately, one of the worst games I've ever attended, I still had a moment in the 9th inning where all the rally towels were flying around. It was loud. Everyone's up. I'm like,
wasn't my best show, by the way.
I was like, this is what it's all about. Like, we got to this moment, and for them to pay off and respond the next day, just fantastic. And you know what? They did that a lot this year. I cited many times on the show the record after a loss. Yeah. And that proved to matter today, if you believe in that sort of thing. Sam, dare I say, are you ready to preview Cubs, Brewers, boxing analogies, what I call the second chance theory?
Yeah.
Are you ready for this, man?
No, I'm not, but I'm going to do it anyway because you're telling me to. And I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to bring back my analogy because it's here again.
You got to do it in full.
I'm going to do it in full. And the last thing I just want to say about this game, it just felt gritty.
Well, it
felt like a gritty win. It just felt really good. And I really think they accomplished something here today. I really do. Like, I don't think this is like you look back and
like for the franchise, you mean?
Yeah, for the
right.
For
I think this is the start of now a run of playoffs.
And I just think no matter what happens, and we're about to talk about it, I'm going to look back at 2025. This was they beat a really good team, a really good team that had World Series aspirations.
And Hap sacrifice bunted.
Yeah, no, that's right.
So he can do it. Coming up next, NLDS Game 1 is Saturday. We preview Cubs Brewers right after this.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Folks, we have an early line. Brewers, Cubs, NLDS. Brewers, a slim on FanDuel right now, -116. You could get your Chicago Cubs at even +100 if you think they're going to make a run to the NLCS. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started.
Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Cubs on your preferred audio platform or YouTube. That way you don't miss any of the great Cubs content we've got for you. The Cubs advanced to the Division Series, first playoff advancement since 2017. The NLDS, where they'll face the rival Brewers, begins Saturday in Milwaukee. Game 2 on Monday. Not a huge fan of that, Sam. Game 3 at Wrigley would be Wednesday. And then if necessary, Game 4 at Wrigley Thursday. Game 5 in Milwaukee the following Saturday. Once again, if necessary.
We'll be covering these at Saturdays and stuff. We'll be covering them.
-116 is basically an even odds.
Yep.
That's a great sign initially, but we don't even need that. Want to know why? These teams they can be more even if you look into it. And if you look into the second chance theory, the boxing analogy, Cubs winning the season series 7-6. Remember, they won 3 out of 5 in mid-August. I think objects are closer than they appear. And I do wonder if Matthew Boyd goes Saturday. He only threw 50-something pitches earlier this week.
Yeah.
Colin Ray is an option. The bullpen Council's now going to be shrewd with the bullpen every chance he gets. If Freddie Peralta is going game 1, Quinn Priester's going to be in there. Woodruff and Quintana ended the season on the IL, but they could return for the series.
Man, you were really ready for this.
We know they grind up and down. I started this segment of notes after the Bush homer. They're up and down the lineup. They're good.
Yeah.
They do what they need to do, and let's go, man. We said Final Four. Final Four. And if you win 3 out of 5, you do just that.
So about 2 months ago, after the Cubs, it looked like the division passed the Cubs by. I made a little analogy. If you guys remember it, the everydayers, it was about a gentleman by the name of Muhammad Ali, if you've ever heard of him. And in the early 70s, Ali came back from his absence from boxing, and he lost. He lost what they called the fight of the century. I think it was 1971 at Madison Square Garden to Joe Frazier, and it felt like that was it for Ali. Right, that was it. Okay, it's done. He had his run in the 60s. He had to take too much time off. That was it. And then for the next few years, and in baseball terms, that's about a couple of months in boxing terms. For the next few years, he just grinded. He fought guys like Floyd Patterson and Ken Norton, great fighter. Ken Norton, he even lost to Ken Norton. He had some up and down. He was just trying to get back to get a title shot. Doesn't matter what his name was. He had to earn that right to get that shot again. And so, he fought Joe Frazier a second time. Wasn't pretty, kind of like this series.
Mm-hmm.
And he found a way to beat him. and he set himself up with basically the match of the 70s. I actually think it's almost like the 50th or 51st anniversary of it. I think it's October of 74 when he fought George Foreman. And he was a big underdog, a much bigger underdog than the Cubs are against the Brewers, and the rest is history. The point is this. The Brewers got the division. They won that battle. That's great for them. But nobody is going to remember that if you get this opportunity and you go in and you find a way to beat them 3 out of 5 times. It will change everything. It's the same story. It's the same principle. You go down at first. And what did the Cubs do? They just kind of battled. They found a way to get that first wild card spot. Wasn't all that pretty. They found a way to win this series. It wasn't all that pretty, but they've earned themselves that opportunity. It's not really in front of the world like this fight was. But it's going to be in front of Chicago. It's going to be in front of Milwaukee. And the Cubs got a chance to say, hey, congrats. You guys won the division. But 2025 is going to be remembered as the Cubs over the Brewers. That's what's at stake.
Love it. Love it. And I'm a big believer in the second chance theory. I think we've seen it in the expanded format. Everybody wants to go to – I shouldn't make a blanket statement, but –
people are saying I always tell this story in the comments. It's second time, folks.
Many times –
second time
now in the expanded format since 22, there have been some complaints about, the team that gets a bye gets a whole week off. I would do a little more digging than that. I think it's what Sam's talking about. And I would call it second chance theory. You have a second chance to land a punch. You see them again. It's not about the days off or if, the Cubs got aided by playing these 3 games, winning a series, going into the next series. I think it's about second chances, and the Cubs have that right here. And I'll tell you what, if Freddie Peralta leaves Saturday's game and the Cubs are winning, the Cubs are going to win.
Yeah, I can't believe
that's how I feel right now, man.
Don't we get a couple days off?
That's a big one. That's a big key.
Exhausted.
Respecting the process and strategy right now as the sport changes in the playoffs, if the starter leaves and you're winning, you feel good about winning the game. That's what happened Tuesday. That's what happened Thursday. I think we're going to see that, especially in the shorter series, which this one is a 5-gamer.
Are they on TBS?
Yeah, TBS. Game times will be announced after Yankees Red Sox Thursday night.
It all depends on what the Yankees do.
Well, not all the matchups are complete.
Right, but the Yankees will get the good slot.
Well, there's 4 games Saturday. It's a lot.
We'll play at like 9 a.m.
Well, let's think about this before we log off. Would the Cubs get the first slot?
No, they'll play. What are the matchups? Tigers
will be Tigers Mariners, but that's in Seattle.
Yeah, so it'll be Tigers, Mariners, probably at like 2. Oh, you're right.
2, 4, 6, 8.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a 2, 4, 6, 8 because Dodgers Phillies is gonna be more of a priority than Cubs Brewers.
All right, so they'll play in the afternoon sometime, maybe mid-afternoon, early evening then.
I was hoping to watch Illinois Purdue.
Okay. What a day, Sam. What a day. Congratulations to you.
Well, congratulations to you. I always, when we took over this show, I always wanted to let's just reflect a little bit for a few minutes.
Please.
I always wanted to feel what it was like to cover a playoff series and win a playoff series. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you,
of course.
And if I'm genuinely being honest with you, which I always am. Right. It really just felt.
That phrase is one of my pet peeves. Go ahead.
I know you don't like it. There's a lot of things about me I don't think you like, but we can talk about that off the air. You have a random trivia question for me in 1964?
Who hit 20? You want to know why?
Who hit 10 home runs?
The Cubs have a chance to win a World Series.
Yeah, it's a trivia question.
No trivia anymore.
Hey, on May 18th, who hit an RBI double in the 6th in 1980? I don't know. But when I was watching this, I was just my fan self. I was just my fan.
Oh,
I was just fanning. I was pacing back and forth, just trying to sip on some ginger ale.
Blood pressure was up for me, man.
Yeah, I know. We'll have to talk maybe some some people can give us some advice on how to keep the blood pressure and anxiety down, because there is 22 more days of this if you want to go all the way. Oh, well, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Is it like a pregame meditation or something like that?
Well, pregame walk.
Yeah, I did that today actually.
Oh.
But yeah, it was awesome, man. And I got to say this. A lot of us, including me, and rightfully so, got on Jed Hoyer for their lack of moves at the trade deadline. And I thought if they lost this series, a big headline would have been, hey, the team that went all in beat the team that played it safe. But at the end of the day, the guy that got the 2 biggest outs of the season was a guy that you got at the trade deadline, and Andrew Kittredge. And, credit Jed Hoyer for that. Taylor Rogers, not so much. But
he's a depth guy, yeah.
But Andrew Kittredge, that guy's a dude, man. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that's got a slow heart rate no matter the situation. That's him.
Well, I think Soroka could have a smallish to medium role on Saturday.
I think he'll have a big role in this series. You asked me, is Boyd going to pitch? So he pitched Tuesday. So you're saying he'd go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's technically normal rest.
It's technically shorter rest.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When he pitched Tuesday, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. You're right.
Yeah.
But he only threw 58 pitches. Why not just start Ray game 1?
That's what I'm thinking.
Why not just start Ray and say, here, Brewers, if you better win this one, and if we steal that one, then it's. I'll put it to you like this: if it comes back to Wrigley 1-1, I don't know if it's getting back to Milwaukee.
Now that gets me really, really.
If it comes back to Wrigley 1-1, I don't know if you're going back up there. Folks, if you are taking the trip, stop at the Brat Stop. It's a phenomenal establishment over there, right on that highway there. I'm not good with roads, but whatever highway takes you. What is that?
We will be here after each game of Cubs Brewers, including Saturday night.
Yeah, we'll be here Saturday night. Hold on. Let me cancel my big Saturday night plans. Yeah, they're done.
This is Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast.
That took long, huh?
Every day for your second listen, check out Locked On MLB Game Night.
You can laugh. It's okay.
If this is your first time here, I would just wonder. I am curious what type of feedback. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on the Locked On MLB channel on YouTube.
Who had a double in 1967, July 8th?
My trivia is not that specific.
I'm messing with you.
Or wherever you listen to podcasts. The Cubs win the wild card series, game 1 of NLDS Saturday in Milwaukee. He's Sam Olver. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
Go Cubs.